Nice to see someone bringing the mythology to Indian cinema again.
Dheeraj, I used to think that why aren't we bringing our cultural stories, our real gods as the real heroes on the big screen?
Why did you choose mythology?
I was an agnostic and atheist myself long ago.
Damn, the drama is made by Japanese. Some other country people has to make a film on our mythology.
Yes, it's very unfortunate. It's really unfortunate. Why Bharat being a land. And this film, Mahavatar Narsimha, is a step towards that direction to change it. So bring these stories back to life to the new generation, because if it does not go to the new generation, this will just wave off.
If you wanted to project the 9 avatars in with the realistic actors,
I think for Lord Parshuram would be Rishabh Shetty.
great choice.
Lord Rama would be Ram Charan.
Okay.
Shri Krishna.
For example, there is Inside Out 2 or 1. Any animation content that is coming down right now, it could be Pixar content or it could be the recent one, Wild Robot. That is not only for the children, even the adults are enjoying the
Yes,
kind of cinema.
it's a universal medium. What you will witness on the 25th of July in the theatres, a climax that has never been seen and put to on the theatres in Indian cinema.
Hi, Director Ashwin. I'm Dheeraj from Filmy Focus.
Namaste Dheeraj, how are you? Thank you for having me on Filmy Focus.
So first of all, it's very nice to see someone bringing the mythology to the Telugu cinema back again. Not just Telugu cinema, mostly Indian cinema again.
Dhanyavad.
Yeah. So Ashwin, like as mentioned before, like there is very little info about you on the internet. Like I was been searching on both IMDb, in Google, wherever the possible, but I hardly find your recent interviews with Hindu or that. So what is your background and where do you come from, and what is your fascination towards the CG or animation or cinema?
So I've basically been an artist all my life, and I've also basically been into animation and VFX as a career path. But beyond that, I've also been into making music, dancing and choreography and acting in theatre, but never really tried to be in front of the camera. That is why I've basically been even directing this film. And but I've had a long journey. But all through this journey, Dheeraj, I used to think that why aren't we bringing our cultural stories, our real gods as the real heroes on the big screen? And here Swami has basically given me the chance, and here I am.
You have this fascination on CG or VFX or what are the kind of format. But why did you choose mythology? Is there any specific thing that inspired you to bring it up on the screen?
See, I was an agnostic and atheist myself long ago, and dwelling into a lot of wrong things that I shouldn't have, or I may have been, that has shaped me today. And going through those dark times and going through a lot of anxiety and depression and fighting through that, and ultimately finding the divine and understanding the spiritual calling that I was actually hankering for, and how that unfolded and shaped the rest of my life and made me into this person that I'm sitting today, is a miracle for me. And that is why for me it is not mythology, because mythology stems from the word mythos, which is a Greek word, which is myth or which is mithya. For me, this is not mithya. For me, this is Puranic. This is history of my land, my ancestors, and this is the pride that I swell my spirituality in. This is my revered Swami, and I'm just simply presenting him to you.
Okay. So what was the specific break point for you?
The break point?
Your transition to Puranas or
Shastras.
Shastras.
Yes. So me and my friends, once we were sitting in 2008 and discussing the beautiful Leela of Bhakta Prahlada and the wonderful film, that Telugu film that we had seen all that, and we were discussing all that why this story is so good and important, and why nobody is making a huge grandeur film. This is 2008. And we used to think that somebody should make a film on it. Only later I realized that somebody is me, should be making a film on it. And then I started dwelling on it. And I was doing a lot of Shastric studies, trying to understand, having a lot of conversation with people, debating people. I was like I told you, I was like agnostic mostly, most part of my life. And I started getting the answers. And finally, when all these answers, once your logic is satisfied, then what happens? Dheeraj, your heart opens. Once your heart opens, surrender happens and revelations come in. That's an entire transmutating process that one has to go through. Okay. So this is the kind of things that happened, and That's why.
So you being an atheist in the initial stages, like does that personality or mentality of yours added any flavor to the film as well? Because looking inside the Puranas, like understanding the Puranas is something that being a believer, it will give you some perspective. Being a non-believer, it will
Correct,
give you a completely different perspective.
Beautifully put. Every time you have a certain perspective and you read not just any mundane book, but even Shastra, your perception will be different. But that is why a teacher is very important, because they can give you a proper darshanik study or darshanik perspective. Yes, I did make a lot of mistake in those early studies. Eventually, that was corrected later when I started having a lot of proper darshanik studies. What is actually being said? What are the things we are missing? Why? Because it is working on a conscious level. It's not just working on an intellectual level. Right, it has have a deep spiritual impact, and then it impacts your action and working in life. Right, so this is how deep this entire process basically goes.
See, currently the animation kind of films are literally working on different platforms. Specifically, when we see the anime from Japan or some other countries, always will be in the awe of it. Like, oh, man, wow, man, how are you? How are they making it?
Correct.
And even I was like, though from the childhood I didn't know that Ramayana was made by Japanese.
So true.
When I got to know that, damn, that Ramayana is made by Japanese. Like some other country people has to make a film on our mythology.
Yes, it's very unfortunate. It's really unfortunate. Why Bharat being a land producing most number of films in the world every year, right? And servicing so many international films, Marvel, DC films, you see in the end all Bharatiya names happening over there. But yet we do not have our own established animation industry, which is sad. When you look at China, which has done NESA to $2 billion US, when you look at Japan, their own manga, anime industries, Korean, K-pop, also dramas, everything working. But Bharat, which is so culturally rich, everything exported from Bharat, but yet it does not have its own animation industry. And this film, Mahavatar Narsimha, is a step towards the direction to change it. Because it should be changed now. It has to change. Because if we don't start, is this the best animation in the world? It is not. Right? Does it have problems? Yes, it has problems. But it's a step towards a direction that if we do not take now, it's never going to happen. Right? Why? Because the people, while we sit here and watch Love, Death, Robots on Netflix, with this wonderful animation, and we see when will we reach? Right? We have to take a step by ourselves, because nobody's going to do it for us, because it is not a skill issue. Right? The skill is there. It's a will issue. Right, and we are just trying to will, and that is where we are seeking love and support from the entire Bharatiya community. Let's make this new industry happen.
Okay. No, see, we have a specific market for that, for the devotional content and the mythological content. There is a specific set of audience who are willing to see the content. See, the problem is, for example, if we take the Mahavatar, the 9 versions of the things. So when it was announced, I was also little bit like, there is a set of curiosity in me, like, oh, something is being made on our Puranas and mythology as well. Then when I got to know that, okay, Narsimha is the first part getting released, it didn't have that specific span that, okay, I can introspect the content, I can have the complete idea of the avatar and to enjoy the film. So why it is so hurry? Hardly any few weeks back.
No. You mean the announcement?
Yes, that's what. Because see, for example, the recent announcement of Ramayana, they're yet to even shoot the film, but they released a promo saying that, okay, Ramayana will be releasing next Diwali, and the part 2 will be releasing on 2027 Diwali.
So for us, in the Mahavatar cinematic universe that we are building, this is a very experiential universe we are building. It is going to be 2 years for each film from here that we bring on. And it is translated not just into films, but also into games, right? We're going to be producing AAA games, and we are also doing comic series. So there are 3 mediums.
Who is the gaming partner?
We are creating our own setup right now, right? So it is an entire experiential universe that we are basically creating, and it is going to be slow and steady to be consumed. Yet each film is independent in consumption. Like if our next film, Mahavatar Parshuram, right? You can watch that film independently. You don't have to watch Mahavatar Narsimha to watch Mahavatar Parshuram, right? But ultimately in the universe, it is sewn together, right? That is why this kind of when we made the announcement, the universal announcement, so many studios and everyone basically has approached us and revered us. but to consume it slowly, right? It's like a 10 meal course, right? You have to consume it slowly. It has to come. It has to take its own time, right? And Mahavatar Narsimha is the first that we are presenting to the world. Is the first guldasta or the first roses that we are giving to the world. So let's hope how it goes well.
No, it will go well. It will. There is a specific set of audience who are willing to watch it, but that is completely fine. But taking it to the audience, see, because the movie is releasing on July 25th, and we are having the promotions now on July 28th or something.
Yes.
So this film might need a better launch pad. This film, the trailer, need to be released at least some 2 to 3 months prior, because this kind of content is 13 plus content. Right, possibly 12, 8 plus content could also be. Why didn't that happen?
See, because we being first time producers of this kind of a content, trying to assess the market, our first teaser dropped in December last year. And then we have been bringing out little small promos and trying to understand the vibe of the market. Because there's a lot of uphill battles we have to fight. You have to understand.
Still in the learning stage.
It will always be a learning stage. We are never from the learning stage. We are forever learners. We are a forever work in progress, right? Because it is an uphill battle. We have to fight the stereotype that animation is for cartoons or animation is for children. That stereotype has to be slowly be broken, right? If we gave this content out or this trailer out maybe 2 months, 3 months ago, then we would have nothing to hype it up for the next 3 months. Right. Okay. So slowly we have to get the mindset also attuned to this kind of a content, because it's the first time, not just Narsingh Swamy in animation style, but this animation is being pan-India release. Never happened before.
Okay.
Right. So many battles we have to fight. In the course of the journey for 4.5 years, we met so many people who said to us on our faces that you should not make this film. Why? Because you're doing animation, that to Bhagwan. People don't watch animation, only children will watch animation and Bhagwan, because there is no precedence. We are breaking those ways. That is why a new way has to form. If we find the old traditional way, then we will end up in the same place, right? So that is why basically we're trying to do this.
But that could be true as well, but I don't completely agree to that, because when a content comes from Pixar, for example, there is Inside Out 2 or 1. So there will be people along with the children, the parents are also watching the content.
Correct.
Any animation content that is coming down right now, it could be Pixar content or it could be the recent one, Wild Robo.
Yeah.
So that is not only for the children, even the adults are enjoying the kind of cinema.
It's a universal medium. And that is where we want to take animation of India. Yes, perhaps could it have been sooner? Yeah, perhaps it can have been sooner. We can always debate that. There's no right or wrong. Eventually time will tell how it swells up. But we know what what you will witness on the 25th of July in the theatres, a climax that has never been seen and put on the theatres in Indian cinema. No. We know that. So once that happens, automatically the love of the people will transpire. That is what we believe.
Good. So what is the kind of animation we are going to look on 25th?
The kind of animation is, you can see the style that we have chosen is a more realistic style. We have not gone for the cartoony style, because like the stereotype that we have to fight and break anyway. So that all 3 generations of the family can absorb and get entertained, right? Because there's full entertainment.
So have you gone for the live animation as well in the making, or is it completely the caricature making?
It's completely handcrafted, hand animated, right? But the look is realistic. The textures are realistic. The feel of the environment is realistic, right? So that you once you get into the film, you must feel that it is like a big scale film you're watching. After 20-30 seconds, you should forget that this is animation that you're watching. That is the idea.
No, that is fine. But now the live animation thing is also working, because earlier we saw in Indian cinema is Kochadian.
Oh, you mean mocap, basically. Yeah. You mean motion. No, we have not used motion capture. All the motion capture we tried to use in our early stages, but I did not kind of find the fidelity. In handcrafted, I found better, so we handcrafted the entire.
Okay, because that gives you more time as well, because the expressions and everything will be.
Yes, but as the time, when we started, us time it was pretty expensive at the time. But by the time we go to the next one, of course, we'll be using a lot of these tools.
Okay, so coming to the film, so there are not many versions available like Ramayana or something about the Mahavatars. When it comes to, because Ramayana we find around some 10-15 versions of Ramayana in the market or in the Puranas as well. When it comes to Mahabhagavatam also, there are at least 3 to 4 formats which are available.
Correct.
But when it comes to Mahavatar, there is a standard version. That's the standard format. So everybody, 90% of the people, at least 80% of the people, because cutting down the Gen Z generation, 80% of the people knows what is Prahalada story, who is Narsimha Avatar and stuff. So the thing is, how cinematically, what is the kind of cinematic liberty you have taken in terms of the film, in terms of making, and also how true are you to the concept and the context?
So we've tried to be as true to the Shastric sources as possible, and entire Shastras, the relevant Shastras have been thoroughly studied and referred for this, which are Srimad Bhagavatam, the second and the third canto, the third and the seventh canto, where this entire story takes place. Apart from this, we have the Shri Vishnu Puran, Shri Vara Puran, Shri Narsingha Puran, and we also have the Padma Puran, the Bhadra Puran, and all these references. Apart from this, we also studied the lores around Bhagwan Narsimha Swami, because sitting here in this place, we know that each land has its own Paddhati, and because he is a revered Ishta in so many places. So even taking those things in accounting, and taking the Leela Sthalis and stories from the Leela Sthalis and putting it into the film. So we've been very carefully basically entailing all that into the film.
And for the dubbing part, have you used the AI?
No, not at all.
No. Because I see lots of lip sync for the Telugu version as well. So what is the kind of care you have taken for this languages?
So the dubbing basically has happened in our dubbing studios, right? And the entire set that basically happens is...
It is fine. I mean the lip sync. For the Prahalada character, there is a lip sync. For other characters, the lip sync is missing.
Some places here and there. Of course, because when we started, there was no AI, right? And we really wish that
What I wanted to ask is, like, how did you able to do that lip sync for all the languages?
Yes, that's what I'm saying. For all the languages, certain sections, CG and some AI mixture, we had to do blending work and stuff like that. Figure new pipeline out at the last moment, and to give the best experience.
Which is fine actually, because sometimes, specifically when watching the kind of content, the lip sync matters a lot. So when I was like watching the trailer, okay, at least the Prahalada version has the proper lip sync, then I was okay, fine. Because we are going to watch the story of Prahalada, obviously, at least that should have the lip sync thing. Okay. So the references are fine, Ashwin. But when it comes to the facial features, so everyone will have their perspective of seeing the god.
Correct.
So it's in one frame we can see Narsimha is very furious and fiercey, and some other frames he will be simple and normal as well. So when it comes to Puranas, there are hundreds of versions available. If you go to any temple or any place, there will be lots of versions. Even Rama, we can see around some 4 to 5 versions.
100%. So much iconography is there, so much references there, post references.
So what is the kind of actual difference you have taken when it comes to the picture of Narsimha or Prahalada or anyone?
So our main go-to source has been the Srimad Bhagavatam, where especially in the...
But even in that we don't have any pictures, right?
No, you can't get any picture, but you can get the iconography from the Shilpa Shastra. The Shilpa Shastra tells you the exact measurements of each god. The hand, leg, kamar, everything, all measurements is basically telling you, right? And the Nataka Shastra basically talks about how they have to be presented or represented. So all those things we have studied, but you cannot follow it to the T because that is not in motion. That is for Shilpa art, that is like sculptures, right? But we take inspiration from it, right? But we also have to entail the modern storytelling, because people are so accustomed to getting heroes and anti-heroes or antagonists larger than life. So presenting the modern day heroes and cinematic liberties have been taken over there to make it more modern like.
Liberal liberties are fine.
Of course. Like I also heard like some comments why Hiranyakashipu is having tooth and stuff like that.
But I have the same.
But it is there in the Shastra, right? When you read the third canto or the third skanda from Bhagavatam, it actually talks about their being large height, wearing gold griddles and having 2 large teeth sticking out and golden hair and a lot of gold. So all that is basically mentioned. And in fact, what we are going to do is after the release of the film, we will be on our website talking about where the Shastric sources are there. So that people can actually understand what is taken from.
True, that is much needed as well.
So that people understand the source. And wherever any Atishokti or any exaggeration has been done, they will be knowing why we had to do this, right?
Exaggeration should be there because for the cinema. Unless until If you're not exaggerating the
Yeah,
situation,
then the
or
medium, the medium
it
demands
needs, it needs
that.
that.
Yeah.
That is fine. So exaggeration is completely acceptable for the Puranas, because
Correct.
that's where the cinematic high also comes.
Correct.
Because if it is just like a novel
Yeah,
reading or the
then
book telling,
yeah,
so
then, yeah.
there is, it's not the way people watch the
Plus,
film.
it is the rasa of the new world.
True.
You have to give it to the new world the way they understand it, right?
Exactly.
And the mindset is very busy. They want entertainment in a different way, so it has to be presented like that.
So more than the caricatures or the characters, so it takes a lot of time in building the world around. Because the most I was fascinated with because of the world around. Because it was not like I have seen it earlier. That's the first impression I had.
Yeah, the world building, yes.
Yes, because in many of the earlier films, it was like, okay, they have taken it from the Marvel or from the DC or something.
Correct.
So there are lots of reference points. But
Yes,
when it comes to Mahavatar Narsimha, the world is like, it's fresh.
Yes.
It could be a building, or it could be a pond, or it could be even the door points, everything was fresh. It looks fresh. Like there is no, these are not okay.
Yeah.
brought
So a lot of
from
art
other
direction
things.
basically is
Yeah,
gone
it
into
is.
studying that, creating that. Many iterations. My artists have really sweated blood, tears, creating them again and again, conceptualizing again and again, because we wanted to bring it like it's not been done before, right? It's easy to copy, but we have also been inspired. I'm not saying nothing, but there is a lot of inspiration. Yeah. But the renderation has to be yours.
Yes.
The projection has to be yours, right? That is what we've tried to do.
Okay, cool. So Ashwin, tell me something like, okay, you completely studied the Puranas, or you completely studied the
Not
Itihasas?
completely, but I have
at
tried.
least whatever the content you made.
Yeah.
So you studied the Puranas, Itihasas, everything. But though you have studied everything, there will be something that you might have missed, or there will be something that you are not completely confident about.
Correct.
But there will be a set of audience who will be ready to raise some unnecessary issues as well, because
100%.
there will be after the movie release, okay, they will be like, no, Prahlada wasn't the same.
Yeah,
small
something
way
or the
like
other.
that. So something or the other way. So how ready were the production house, and also being a director, being the editor as well for the film?
Correct.
Like, how are you ready for that?
So from the get-go, the idea was, again, like I said, to keep it close to the source as much as possible. And the idea is to glorify, not to degrade, right? And that is what the prism with which we have basically approached. Why? Because he is our Ishta, we love him. And Lord Bhagwan, Vishnu is very important to us as our puja paddhati every day that we have at our home also as a practicing Vaishnavas, right? So our idea is to glorify. Right? Could we have gone wrong somewhere? Possible, because we are human. We are human, but our intent is to serve us, Swami, and also bring these stories back to life to the new generation. Because if it does not go to the new generation, this will just wave off with our generation. Because you may have heard it from your grandparents, or you may have seen the Bhakt Prahlad movie, but the new generation does not know about it. How will it reach them? Right? So any corrections, anything that we have to do, we will keep doing, persistently be making it better. And the sentiment, keeping all the aparadhas aside, we'll really not try to go that direction. But if we do, we will tell our people to let us know so that we can correct. We are ready to make those amends, because our vision is very clear, is to bring these stories, heritage and culture stories back of values and virtues of our real gods on the big screen. Right? Keeping Bharat as one. We are diverse in language, we are diverse in culture, but we are one in heritage and our gods. So let's combine ourselves together for that. That is the idea.
That's true. Like the current generation, specifically the Gen Z generation, should know about Itihasas and Puranas, specifically through movies. Because that's how even I brought up. Because I used to watch Ramayana, I used to watch Mahabharata. It could be on TV or the movies, whatever the content. So this is fine, Ashwin. But there is lots of possibility of the content getting into the audience through your set of projection, which is fine. But weren't you able to get onboard any stars for this film, for at least for the dubbing part or something? Because if Narsimha Avatar or the Bhakta Prahlada Avatar was dubbed by any other actors from the Telugu film industry or any kind of language, so that might have added some more value to the film. Wasn't that your thought process or something like? You never wanted to do
just
that?
add to the previous answer, something just popped into my mind. From the get-go, when we were making this film, we also had a lot of swamis and a lot of important people from the institutions like ISKCON, understand what we are making and get insight references from them, so that we don't end up making those mistakes, right? So one care that we could actually take is basically have those people on board early, right? So that these kind of mistakes can be avoided as much as possible, right? But even if so, mistakes do happen. I understand what your point was. Coming to this question, see, in Bharat, there is a tendency from the past. You can see that whenever somebody plays a godlike figure, we have a tendency to project the god onto him in his life, and tendency to project
the figure or something. I'm just asking for the voice.
For your voice, yeah. Or for the voice acting. Or
At
that
least the
time,
voice.
yeah. See, when we started at that time, we were doing our own budgets, right? We were never averse to having a celebrity voice, but we had our own budgets and own doing at that point in time. In the future, of course, we would want to have a celebrity voice that's coming in. But the disadvantage of it is what I'm trying to tell you. So let's say if you have a certain big star giving a certain voice, let's say to Lord Narsimha Swami. So we also have a tendency to project that star on character, on God.
That we have it. Because even now when Ranbir Kapoor announced for Ramayana, everyone was like, no, after Animal, how can he play?
Correct.
That guy eats beef. Then, so everything, that will have a
But over here,
section
Ranbir is playing Ram. So I'm not even talking playing Ram. I'm talking about even giving the voices.
Yes,
right.
So that might have given you
that
some
may
leverage.
that can, of course, that will give us an advantage. This film we did not have that advantage. Perhaps the next film we might have those advantages.
Because Chiranjeevi garu, he promoted and also gave a dubbing for Hanuman film, animation film, some very long back, around some 2000 could be 8 or something. So that actually gave a lots of set of audience to go to the theaters. Because Chiranjeevi is promoting the film, he's even dubbing for the, not like a proper dubbing, like he's like giving a voiceover for the initial parts, and then he dubbed for the Hanuman character. Correct. Because he is a devotee of Shri Anjaneya and stuff. So that's how the stardom helped the film as well. So coming from Hombale and Geeta, it's releasing in Telugu. So I just wanted to know that that might have added some value to that.
Yes, it may have added, but I think perhaps in the next film, surely we'll see in Mahavatar Parshuram.
Now you're completely projecting it into the animation, or in the future you might take the live animation or motion capture, what are the possible technology.
Correct.
But if you wanted to project the 9 avatars with the realistic actors from any other industries, so what are the other right from the Parshuram to Vishnu, whoever it is possible, in your mind at least?
See, for this film, for Hiranyakashyap, I keep saying, I think Rana Dagopati or Vijay Sethupathi would have been very perfect.
In the process of making Hiranyakashyap. He have his set of, his version of Hiranyakashyap ready just to shoot.
Yes, but had it not been there, then I think that he would have been suited for sure. The titular role. So but Lord Narsimha, I would still do CG, right? And live action for Ramayana. Right, a very tricky question, and you'll get me into a lot of trouble for asking that question. I think jumping all the ones, I think for Lord Parshuram would be Rishabh Shetty.
Oh, great choice.
Yes. I think he will be very suited for that kind of a role. That because he has that figure and that kind of this thing. Right, and Lord Rama would be Ram Charan.
Okay, right. Choice.
Right, and Shri Krishna, very difficult to think today, right? Shri Krishna, very difficult to think today. And Kalki could possibly...
No, but you have to choose one. Though it is difficult. Anyone from the Indian film fraternity.
I think Arjun Reddy.
Oh, Vijay Deverakonda as Krishna.
Yes, possible.
Okay,
yeah. And for Kalki, interesting. Probably Hrithik Roshan or someone.
Oh, yes. Interesting one.
Yeah. And these are the things that come to my mind out of that.
And Mahavishnu?
Oh, no. I can't even think right now. Can't think right now.
Okay, Ashwin, it was nice to know about your perception on God and about the films and the mythology and the kind of Puranas that you wanted to cater to the current generation audience. So it's good to have someone at least putting a foot down to let the stories go global. So we'll be looking forward for all the films and specifically of Narsimha on July 25th.
Thank you
all
so
the best
much.
For you and glad for your time.
Let's see you on the 25th in the theatres.
Yeah. Thanks.